always love to hear from you. Send us your views, comments, and videos with your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV, it just gets better.
Excretory system, it is not a new system. We did study the excretory system, and we started with the breathing. When we breathe out, okay, so if we look at excretion, we look at our breathing in and breathing out. What did we breathe out? Carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide was produced when? During the respiration process. And therefore it is an excretory product. Nee, because it was produced during a metabolic process. Okay. What else is excreted by our lungs? Water vapor. Excellent. Then we can move to our kidneys. Our kidneys will remove what? Urea. Aha, that urea, Josh, was produced in this organ. In the liver, during which process? Deamination. During deamination, urea was produced. And again, can you hear? It is a process. Deamination process happening inside the liver cells. Now we have a product, so we say it is excretion because it is a product of metabolism that the body needs to get rid of. Why is it important to get rid of the carbon dioxide, the urea? Why is it important to get? How will carbon dioxide harm our body? It becomes what? If carbon dioxide dissolves, what is created due to the presence of carbon dioxide? Carl, you see? There's a link between your biology and your physics. Nah? Very important. We said that the pH must be controlled inside the body. Okay. So we can see that it is important to get rid of substances. Then we have our skin. The skin will also get rid of urea, water, and excess salts. If you taste your sweat, you can taste it is a bit salty. No. The kidneys and the skin excrete the same products, but in different concentrations. But there is a bit of urea in your sweat. There is a bit of urea in your sweat. But urine is more concentrated. Okay, what do you think So I want us now to focus on two terms. Excretion and osmoregulation. Excretion and osmoregulation. How do you remember the definition of excretion? The removal of metabolic waste. Nee, the removal of metabolic waste and excess water and mineral salts. Okay, that is the definition of excretion. Are you right? Do you write it down? What is not metabolic waste? Something that is not produced during a chemical reaction in the body. Feces is not metabolic waste because it is undigested food, but we get to that. Okay. So excretion is removal of metabolic waste, and we now look in our introduction that we get rid of it through our skin, through our lungs, and through the kidneys. Now, osmoregulation is to, yes, excellent, is the regulation of the water level in an organism. And our main excretory organ is our kidneys. The main is the kidneys. Then we have secondary excretory organs, which we call the lungs and the skin. So do you think if you have to state 2 functions of the kidney, you can mention 2 already? Yes, it is excretion and osmoregulation. Did you write down your definition? Now, because we all, what is now our reasons for excretion? We have chemical reactions in the body, or it is called metabolic reactions. During this metabolic reactions, nitrogenous waste is produced. Nitrogenous waste, I want you to guess, a U and a C. Urea, uric acid, and the C is for creatinine. Okay. Creatinine. Urea, uric acid, and creatinine. And these nitrogenous waste exist only in the excess proteins that we take in. And in excess we have water and we have salts. So, the water and the salts is important for which process in the body? Osmoregulation. What was osmoregulation again? Water levels in a living organism. So, the water and the salts will, if this are not excreted, it will hamper normal functioning of the body, and it can cause toxic conditions in the body. And with that toxic conditions, we can add what is in our food that we take in that is not good for our bodies. Preservatives, colorants, flavorants. Nah, that can also become part of toxic waste, and it will be excreted, although it is not metabolic waste because it was not produced in your body, but it will also dissolve with the urine and move out of your kidneys, bladder, urethra. Okay. Also, the medicines that we drink contains a lot of chemical substances that need to be spilled or filtered out of your body. Okay. Now, a word that we need to remind ourselves again, homeostasis. The kidneys need to help the body to maintain a constant internal environment. Nee, homeostasis. And we can see that in order to get rid of waste, in order to regulate the water levels in the body, it helps my body to maintain a constant internal environment, which we call homeostasis. Okay. Now, it is easy to get confuse the word excretion with the word egestion. Okay, excretion was to remove metabolic waste products and excess water and salts. Now, okay, the removal from the body of toxic materials, waste products of metabolism, and substances exceeding the body's requirement. What is egestion? the removal of undigested food from the alimentary canal. Egestion, the feces is stored in the rectum, egested by the anus, and we call it feces. But now you will not get confused. Nee, egestion, undigested. You know that, what that means? And excretion, excretory products, excretory organs, metabolism. Good. Okay, and then there is another word that we can confuse now with excretion, and that word is secretion. I also made an opening for the word secretion. What is a secretion? A secretion, I'm going to tell you, saliva is a secretion. Yes, it is released normally by glands, yes, but the mucus from the goblet cells is a secretion. Nee, so mucus is a secretion. Saliva is a secretion. What is the definition? Useful substance released by glands or cells, glands and or cells, that has a specific function. Useful substance released by cells and glands that has a useful substance. Examples: saliva, mucus, enzymes, bile. Yes, definitely. Bile is a secretion. Well done. Bile is produced by the liver, stored by the gallbladder. Now, you see why we need to repeat. Nah, if we repeat, we will remember it. Good. Okay, now our three main substances, carbon dioxide, urea, and water. I think we said enough about that. So I want us to think through this, and then you are going to continue with your worksheet. Okay, so carbon dioxide, all cells will produce it during the process of respiration, and it is excreted by the lungs. Bile pigments produced in the liver. What is bile pigments? It is breakdown of hemoglobin. Those old worn out red blood cells. Breakdown of hemoglobin. And what happens in bile? It will move into the small intestine and then out with the feces. And if you can remember, it is the bile pigments that also give the color to the feces. Urea, liver, deamination of excess amino acids. And I want you, the moment when you talk about deamination, you always add the word excess amino acids. What is deamination? Excess amino acids remove the amino group, form ammonia, and then urea. We know that one. I hope you can remember. And it will be excreted as urine. Water vapor in the cells during respiration. It can also be called metabolic water, and it's excreted by the lungs. Water vapor, you see, not water. Then, excess water can be part of our nutrition. It's not produced. We take it in, and in the kidney, we will call it urine, and it will be sweat in the skin. And the same with excess salts. Okay.
Love to hear from you. Send us your views, comments, and videos with your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV, it just gets better.
To make sure that we have all the information on hormones now together. The only hormones that we are going to study later in grade 12 will be the one on the reproductive system. What hormones can you remember did we look at in this year? Which hormones? The ones that controls sugar levels. And their names were, with an I, insulin and glucagon. Okay, and lately, just last week we did ADH, antidiuretic hormone, that controlled what? The water levels in the bloodstream. Okay, so when we start with hormones, it is important that we understand that the hormones comes from the endocrine system. So, with hormones, we need to look also at the endocrine system. So, when we look at hormones, I quickly want you to draw a little stick figure, and I want you to quickly write down the names. Of course, it is a male, but they have a little insert on female also there. So I want you to make a stick figure and to quickly draw the positions of those places where you will find glands. Little stick figure, please. Okay? Quickly write the names. Stick figure and the names. Okay, you draw in a pencil and make sure you remember the names. And if you have another color, add to each gland a hormone. If you know a hormone that is secreted by that gland, please, you do not need to know the parathyroid glands. You can leave them out. Yeah, the parathyroids you can leave out. Okay, so where exactly in the hypothalamus? You will see the hypothalamus is at the lower part of the cortex. Now, that upper part is the cortex, and just below that huge part of brain there is the hypothalamus. And just below the hypothalamus you have the pituitary. Okay, the pineal gland is at the back of the hypothalamus. The pineal gland is also not really important to you, but it is a very interesting gland, and I'm just going to mention something about it. Okay, can you write a hormone at each gland? You are now studying grade 11. Nee, we are repeating, we are remembering names, and we are studying. Okay, so let's see. What did we learn about the hypothalamus? The hypothalamus was the place where the osmoreceptors. The hypothalamus is like a control center. The hypothalamus is like a control center. It is a control center. And in the hypothalamus, we will find the osmoreceptors that will recognize or detect if the water levels are fine or not. In the hypothalamus, we also have thermoreceptors. We will learn about that next year, but we can. And in the hypothalamus, there are even detectors for the blood glucose level. So the hypothalamus is where we will have the control. Who can remember about the pineal gland? The pineal gland, for interest's sake, is the one that secretes melatonin. And melatonin is where your sleep is happening or not. But that is only for interest's sake. Okay, it is not part of the syllabus. Right, then we have the pituitary gland. At this stage, we know at the posterior part of the pituitary gland, we will find ADH. ADH in the pituitary gland. Okay. The thyroid gland, we have the growth hormone. Thyroid gland is growth hormone. The thymus has to do with the immune system. Parathyroid, you do not have to study, and that will also be different hormones that controls your metabolism and growth. Okay. The adrenal gland, adrenaline. Thymus is about the immune system. No, thymus has nothing to do with insulin. Insulin is where? Pancreas. Glucagon and insulin in the pancreas. Thyroid gland, growth. And the hormone there is TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. But what does that have to do with insulin? Iodine. Because iodine is okay. That's why I like it when you talk to me. It's good. So iodine is the element that helps to build the cells in the thyroid gland. And if you have a deficiency of iodine, you will have goiter. You remember? Yeah. But that has nothing to do with insulin. Okay. It is, the hormone there is thyroid stimulating hormone, and it helps you to grow. Then we have the thymus for immune system. We have the adrenaline glands and adrenal glands for adrenaline. We know that one. Pancreas is for sugar control. Insulin and glucagon. The ovaries will be estrogen and testosterone will be in the testes, progesterone and estrogen. Okay, right. So there we revised. Okay, so let's quickly write down what is homeostasis. Let's continue. Homeostasis, the maintenance of the maintenance of a constant internal environment. Please write that down. Homeostasis, the maintenance of a constant internal environment. I think you can remember that one now. And homeostasis, the maintenance of a constant internal environment inside the body. And we realized that it is important to have a specific amount of water in the body. If we have it in excess, we will have urine made. Nah.
With us on #LearnOn1. Tell us what you're learning and where you're learning it from. Send us your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
homeostasis? Homeostasis means to maintain a constant internal environment in a body or in an organism. In order to maintain homeostasis, we need our nervous system, and we are going to study the nervous system next year. But also what will help is our endocrine system, not your hormone system. You do not have a hormone system. You have an endocrine system and a nervous system. So nerves, we do understand. We already know. What do we call a nerve cell? Another name for a nerve cell? Neuron, yes. What do we call the structural and functional unit of the excretory system? The structural? The nephron. Okay, you remember? Okay, right. And to regulate homeostasis, in other words, to make sure that, and I want to show you this word, dynamic equilibrium. That is what our body tries to achieve. It tries to achieve dynamic equilibrium. Does that mean it is static? No, it means there are changes all the time. Now, have you ever tried to walk on a petrol drum? Have you ever tried to walk on it? Can you stand on it and stay dead still without moving? You cannot. You are moving all the time in order not to fall off. Actually, this is what's happening inside our bodies. We think we are sitting on a chair or I'm just standing here. No. All the time there are little movements in my muscles in order not for me to fall over. So, we need to have dynamic equilibrium. We have many examples. Body temperature is the one that we are definitely going to look into. And then we have the nervous system with nerve signals and the endocrine system where the hormones help us with chemical signals. Hormone, and you write down now. You write down, get a piece of paper. What is a hormone? It is a chemical messenger. And they are normally a receptor. They are a receptor that need to receive the change that is happening, and it will move to a target organ. So it's a chemical messenger that is moving from a receptor organ to a target organ. And it's communicating with the body, receptor cells, sometimes it's a receptor organ, but normally it is safe to say there's cells that is receiving the change. Now, because it is about homeostasis. So it is about change that is taking place in the body. Okay. And this change must be detected, and something must give the message to the target cells. And normally this communication is happening through the bloodstream. And by doing that, we have homeostasis. Now, if we look at the endocrine system, we are working with glands. And yesterday, we named all the glands. We have a gland which secretes a chemical substance, and that happens in... And this chemical need to cause change. So we have different examples. We talked yesterday about all the different examples. How is it possible for hormones to know only to work on specific cells? So